Baruch Hashem Yahuwah, B'Hashem Yahushua HaMashiach. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. All right, so we're going to start this thing up real quick. We're going to run this today. Allah,
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 Bit,
Bit,
Gamal,
Gamal,
Dalit,
Dalit,
He, Ua,
Ua,
Zayin,
Zayin,
Kit,
Kit,
Tit,
Tit,
Ya,
Ya,
Ka,
Ka,
Lama,
Lama,
Naim,
Maim,
Nun,
Nun,
Samik,
Samik,
Ayin,
Ayin,
Pe,
Pe,
Tisad,
Tisad,
Kuf,
Kuf,
Rush,
Rush,
Shin,
Shin,
Tau.
Tau.
Okay. So, who wants to run it?
Barashit, Bara, Alahim, Ab, Ha, Shamayim, Uwa, Ha, Aretz.
Clap it up, man. Somebody else.
U ha'aretz, ha'yata, tahu, ubahu, kashat,
What?
ukashat, pane, tahun, ruach, alahim, marakut, pane, ha'mayim.
All right, clap it up, right? Okay, Sam, what does it say?
In the beginning.
Say what's in the door.
Oh. You say, oh, in the beginning? Oh.
In the beginning, what happened in the beginning?
It was dark without.
Not yet.
You will create the heavens and earth.
Okay, there you go. So in the beginning, created Elohim, the beginning and the end, the heavens, and the beginning and the end, the earth. Okay?
Oh, okay. And the earth was without form and dark. No, and ubahu, it was without form.
Form and what else?
Ubahu,
Void.
and darkness was over the face of the waters. No, tahum.
Well, Tahum is, it can be looked at as water, but
Deep of the deep, Tahum, yep. And the spirit of Elohim moved over the face of the waters.
Good job. Clap it up. All right, now everybody. Uya Amir,
Uya, Amir,
Alahim,
Alahim,
Yahad,
Yahad,
Aur,
Aur,
Uyahad,
Uyahad,
Aur.
Aur.
What does that mean? Anybody?
And Elohim said, let there be light.
What? So next one. Uyara,
Uyara,
Alahim,
Alahim,
At, Ha'aur,
Ha'aur,
Kai,
Kai,
Tu,
Tu,
Uyabadal,
Uyabadal,
Alahim,
Alahim,
Bain,
Bain,
Ha'aur,
Ha'aur,
Ubain,
Ubain,
Ha'kashat.
Ha'kashat.
Take it. Anybody?
Uyara.
What's-
Uyara.
Okay.
What does it mean?
Translate.
Like in English.
Oh. I'm just trying to sound.
So, and completed scene. Elohim, or God, the beginning and the end, the light, it was good. That's good. And completed separating Elohim from the light and from the darkness. What's the word for darkness? What's the word for good? What's the word for light? So let's say it together. Light is Aur. So what's that?
Aur.
What's this?
Kashak.
Say it
Kashab.
together. What's this?
Kashab.
Kashab. Khan. Which means yes.
Khan, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So ha. So this is the new one this week. I'm just gonna say it first. Uyakura alahim la au. Yum ula kashakura le la uyaha arab. Uyaha bukar. Yum akar. Okay. So let's say it together. Let's say it slow. Uyakura
Uyakura.
alahim
Alahim.
la au.
La'au.
Yum
Yum.
ula kasha
Ula kashat.
kura
Kura.
lela
Lela.
uyahai
Uyahai.
arab
Ara.
uyahai
Uyahai.
buka
Buka.
yum
Yum.
akar.
Khan.
Niggas knew.
Yum.
Yum. Like have a yum.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
Oh.
But they
You knew that. I was like,
I said you know that's what I said. So and completed quota is naming. Is naming. Alahim la instructed. So whenever you see the lamad in front of it, it's going to symbolize something that's been led or something that's been instructed. So at this point, or he said, let there be light. So when he said, let there be light, or either uyaha aur, that aur at that point had been commanded. So once the aur had been commanded, when it comes to speaking to it in certain tenses, it's like for this one, instructed. So at this point, it's being led, it's being told what to do. So the ma or la aur instructed light day. That was his name because Qur'an means name. U and la instructed darkness, kashat, Qur'an, name or naming, lela, which means night. So what's the word for day? Say it together. What's the word for day?
Yum.
What's the word for night?
Lela.
Okay. So what was Delilah's name?
Dalila.
The door of darkness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've been trying to hit for about 2 weeks.
So, hey, what, you said Delilah.
Delilah.
Which one is door? What's that? Okay.
Delilah. So when we go into scripture, we look at Delilah, what does her name mean? It means the door of darkness.
I got a question.
Of door of night.
Man, you know how like, cause I ain't gonna lie, man, it's gonna take me a little while to pick up the ABC. You know how like they got a song, so what's the song for the Hebrew rocket with?
Okay, this is the one that I do. Everybody does it a little bit different, but the one that I do is Olive Dick. Oh, you okay? Okay, y'all ready?
Yeah, we ready.
They might get right.
They'll send it to me, one of them.
Okay. Aleph Bek Dalet He Uazayin Ketet Yad Kaf Lamed Mim Nan Sameh Ayin Petesa Kuf Rashin Ta or Tawu. So I'm gonna do it one more time. Aleph Bek Dalet He Uazayin Ketet Yad Kaf Lamed Mim Nan Sameh Ayin Petesa Kufrashin Tau. There you go. So y'all want to sing it together? Let's sing it together, because y'all know I love to sing. Let's sing it together. 1, 2, 3. Aleph Bet Gimel Dalet He Uazayin Ketet Yod Kaf Lamed Mim Nan Sameh Ayin Petesa Kufrashin Tau. Y'all quit on me.
I mean, 'cause your rhythm is not. It's hard.
Hey, help me out there. 'Cause you know, it makes sense in my mind. but
Yeah.
I think it makes sense in everybody else's
I mean,
mind.
because your rhythm is very. You have your own rhythm, so people trying to follow you is kind of hard. But like the other, like the 6-5-4, be like, I love it, like the little. It's green, but.
I got one.
It is green. That
Oh,
one.
no, yeah, let Stanley do his. Let's do
We
his.
need, cause we need a,
Yeah.
No, stop. Just start over. My bad.
Alabama Gamma Dollar High. Who's on chat tip ya? Kakla bad men, Musamad, Ain Pansa, Kuf, Rash, Shantu.
So yeah. See, it's like kind of more of a.
That was simple.
It's more like
It's
nursery
A,
rhyme.
B,
That's
C,
what-
D.
It's a nursery rhyme.
Everybody know that song, right?
Okay, so it's saying doing something like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Ale Bekamada le heu Azahim.
Yeah.
Ketet ya kapla medmem nan samet. Ain pete sa kufra shintao. I just. It's not working.
It's not.
You asked that game. So, let's say it together. Oh no, we didn't finish. Darkness. Kura is what?
Name.
Okay. Break something down real quick. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah by Hashem Yahusha HaMashiach. Baruch means what? Blessed. Hashem. Ha is what? The. Shem is what? Name. Yahuwah. Ba or Ba is what? Son. Ba also. Ba Hashem, which is Hashem is what? The. Well, Ha is the. Shem is what?
Name.
Yahusha. But this goes in, when it's Korah, that means it's naming, like something is being
Name,
given
yeah.
a name.
Yeah.
Whereas when you look at Shem, which is something as far as this is the name. Hashem. Want to break it down real quick. Name night. U, Yahai. Who remembers what Yahai means?
Separated.
And was. Ara. Say Ara. Ara was evening. U Yahai and was Buka.
Bukar. Bukatu.
Bukar. Bukar, which is morning. Yum. Day.
Akar.
Ka. Akkad, which is one, which means singular, which we will look at the Father and the Son, and the Ruach HaKodesh, understand? Or understand the Son when he says, I come in my Father, me and my Father are one. Me and my Father are Akkad. We are one. So, how would you say good morning?
Bukartu.
Buka-tu. How would you say good evening? That's morning, but that was close. Two is good. What's the word for evening?
Ara.
Aratu. Or night. Leilatu. Good night. Okay. So let's say it all together. Uyakura. Alahim. La'aur. Yum. Ulakasha. Kura. Lela. Uyahai. Ara. Uyahai. Buka. Yum. Akkad. Somebody said bukat. That's what I thought. Somebody said bukat.
Bukar.
Buka. What's this?
Resh. Bukar.
So that's the Rash. Okay. So, anybody want to give it a try? Not today? Okay. Well, Baruch Hashem Yahuwah, Hashem Yahushua HaMashiach. Thank you for your time to
Hey,
All right.
hey, you want me to start stopping it so you can run this upload next quarter?
Just leave it all alone. Because whatever he gonna say is gonna tie. You know, I'm already trying to tie it all in anyhow. And he might got something to tie with it. Come on here, young Sam. You gonna help him out?
Yeah. Stand there, so.
All right, y'all. I'm going to give y'all a little something. He's gonna give a little brief. Get out of here, shot. Don't let, remind me not to, I think y'all would already took the picture of, but remind me not to erase that before y'all get all your photographs. Especially by the time you go through that there, whatever word. Because I did that last week, I wasn't thinking about it, I wasn't sure. So please do not let me make that mistake again.
What you did, huh?
I had erased it before he had erased it. That's just because I was like, we were close to us having to leave and I wasn't thinking. So that's my bad.
Oh, we know.
As we say, to the body, Yahusha, I'll esteem you. Yahu.
Hebrew connected full of shalom.
That nigga great.
Insider.
Alright, so brother man, let me get Psalms 119, 165. Hallelujah. So be 119, 165 is Tehillim or Psalms 119, 165.
Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them.
Okay. So the verse says, great peace or great shalom for those who love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. So that's the word we just gonna start off with. What that word, if anybody can read that?
Shalom.
Shalom. Alright, so we're gonna break it down character by character. What that shalom represent? Anybody?
Consume,
Good or just destroy. We're gonna use destroy, right? What does the lamar represent?
to teach, shepherd.
Lamar, he said to teach or to lead or a shepherd. It also means authority. I get down like that. So you see it?
Oh, okay.
You see it? So we got the shun, which means destroy. We got lamar, which also means lead, and teach also means authority, right? What does that represent?
Hook, nail, secure.
Hook, nail, and secure, which also can mean like to establish something, right? EST, establish. And in Ma'in, what does that represent?
Blood, water, chaos.
Blood, water, or chaos. Right, so we're going to use chaos.
That's the new.
So read the verse again.
Great peace or shalom have they which love thy Torah, and nothing shall offend them.
So it says, great shalom for those who love the law, right? So this is the word shalom. You're going to destroy the authority that established the chaos, right? So that's how we gonna find peace in our life, is by getting that chaos destroyed, right? Right there it says, use that by using what? The law, right? So use another word. Go to the slide.
Shatum,
Shaitan,
Shaitan.
right? So that's Shaitan, or the adversary, or Satan, right? So we're gonna break this down. What does that Shah represent? It say destroy, right? And that Tahu,
Sign, mark, covenant.
the sign of the mark, or the covenant, right? So we're gonna use the mark. And then the Noon,
Seed, water.
the seed, right?
Everlasting.
So this is Hashatan, or Satan. He was to destroy the mark, which is the what?
The seed.
The seed,
Of Yahushua.
right? So who is the seed? Or what is the seed?
Yahshua.
We can look at the seed being what? The word. We can look at the seed being what? The son. So the adversary was sent out to destroy the mark, which is the seed, which is the word that came in the flesh, which is the son. But the only way we're going to find shalom is to destroy the authority that established the chaos. So you destroy, you have shalom by essentially destroying who? Shaitan. So how do you destroy Shaitan? By keeping the law, right? So that was just a little opener. But these are going to go over several ways. You can just look at scripture and apply it in the Hebrew, but you can get a greater understanding out of it. Just looking at simple scripture, we're going to be brief today. The first thing I want you to start off with there is Bereshit 14. And then you hold
Let people on the phone that don't know what's coming.
Bereshit is, I'm sorry,
You gotta remember that.
Bereshit is Genesis.
So I'm just saying, we're not gonna take that track of life, once we know it, that we're not gonna use it, you know what I'm saying? Give them both.
Nah, it just comes with this. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
But we always remember, we're gonna have people that may come through that don't know, so we always give them both.
So yeah, Bereshit is a word for Genesis of the beginning. We're gonna go to chapter 14, and he gonna get Matthew chapter 13, which is Matthew, and that's gonna be 38. So we're gonna read Bereshit 14 first. Yeah, just start from the top and read verse 1 through 3.
Four kings, Emperor of Babylon, Arak, that's how you do it, of Elisai, Shadolamer of Elam, and Tadal and Goim went to war against the four other kings, Beros, Sodom, Bashak of Gomor, Shinabad, Adamah, Shambria of Zimbai, and the king of Bela, or Zorah. These five kings,
Yeah, you can start right there. So this Genesis chapter 14, we know this is after the flood, right? We know that this is during the time of our forefather Abraham. During this time period, these are all the kings of the earth during this time period. And they were all coming together to create a war, which is a war. Like, you know, today we'll see World War I, World War II, and stuff like that. It's impossible for them to name that World War I, World War II. And we see right here in Genesis 14, these are all the kings of the earth coming together for a war at this time, at this given time period, right? So I'm gonna read it again. It says, and it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, right? So that first king name is named Amraphel. Amraphel. So we have Bereshit 14:1. The first king name is Amraphel. I'm gonna give y'all the definition of his name. Alright. So the name of the first king is a commandment went forth. This is King Amraphel, the king of Shinar, right? Read the second king.
Arak of Elisar,
Alright, so the second king name was Arioch, and he was the king of Eleazar, or Elisar, right? So Arioch, that's the first king now. His commandment went forth. That's Amraphel. Arioch. That's Arioch, a lion-like man. So the first king, it says, and it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, or a commandment went forth, right? So then, the second king, Arioch, king of Eleazar, a lion-like man, right? The place that he is from, where it says he was king of Elasar, means to chasten. So a commandment went forth from a lion-like man, what, to chasten, right? So look, read the third one, which is Shedorlaomer, king of Elam. Read the rest of it.
and Tidal of Goim went to war against five other kings, Bera of Sodom, Bashar of Gomar, Shanab of Adam, Shabir of Samaim, and the king of Bela, or Zorah.
Alright, so the first king, Amraphel, a commandment went forth. The second king, Arioch, a lion-like man. Where he was from? Elasar, means to chasten. The next one is Shedorlaomer. His name represents sheaves or first fruits, right? So we got a commandment went forth from a lion-like man to chasten, right? Shedorlaomer, king of Elam, right? That word sound familiar? Elam means eternity, like Olam, Olam. So it's eternity. So he was the king, the king of eternity, right?
That's easy money.
So check this out. And then, what was the last king name after Elam?
Tadal of Goaim.
Okay. So title of Tadal. Fear, right? And then it says he was the king of the nations. So fear of the nations. Verse 2. So we're going to read verse 1. A commandment went forth from a lion-like man to chasten. He had the first fruits, he had eternity, and he had the fear of all what? Nations. Verse 2.
Went to war against 5 other kings. Bera of Sodom, Bashar of Goraim, Shanab of Adamah, Shaber of Zobaim, and the kings of Bela or Zorah.
So verse 2. And these made war with Barah, king of Sodom, right? So this is Barah. The sons of evil, or wickedness, right? And he was the king of where? Sodom, which means burn, right? So watch this. And with Bershah, so we got Barak, sons of evil. We got Bershah, and his name means the sons of wickedness, right? And he was the king of Gomorrah, right? That represents a habitation or a place, correct? So now, he said, Shanab, king of Admon, right? So this is Shanab. Bring it over with me. This is going to be Shanab. So then Shanab, who was the king of Admah, his name Shanab means tooth or teeth, and he was the king of the earth or earthly, right? So check this out. We're going to read this all together. A commandment went forth. This verse 1 and 2 of Bereshit, chapter 14 of Genesis 14, 1 and 2. Okay, so y'all can see. So a commandment went forth from a lion-like man to chasten. He was the first fruits. Well, he had the sheaves, eternity, fear of nations. Right? So then you got the sons of evil, burn, the sons of wickedness, and a habitation. There shall be teeth in the earth. Now, any of y'all, does that sound familiar to anybody?
Born gnashing of teeth.
You heard what he said? So he said, there shall be weeping, mourning, and gnashing of teeth. Now, the verse I had, my man, was what?
Matthew 13.
So we have Matthew 13, verse 38.
The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom.
All right, we're going to stop right there. So the Mashiach started out saying that the field is the world, right? The good seed, what did it say?
The good seed are the children of the kingdom.
The good seed are the children of the kingdom. That's why I asked y'all with this word, with that word seed. See, Yahuwah, he has a field, and the field is the world. So when he planting the seed, he know what each seed gonna do. He know what the seed is supposed to do. So when you're looking at this word, you always gotta look at this word as the seed, right? What would you say that the word was? Like out of this book, what would you say the word of the law? Which books?
Genesis,
The Torah. We say Genesis through Deuteronomy. That's the word. The first 5 books is the word. So we know that's the seed. That's the seed that was planted, right? So then what come after the Torah? You got the what?
Tanakh.
You got the Tanakh. What else? What's all in the Tanakh? The law. You got the prophets. And you got Psalms, Proverbs. You also got the Book of Kings, Judges. You know what I'm saying? You got all of that. So that seed was planted in Genesis through Deuteronomy, correct?
Yeah.
So then you got the prophets, and they have their writings. That's that seed what? Growing. It's producing a plant, right?
Yeah.
So what does a plant produce? Fruit. So what would you say the fruit of that seed was? The seed was the law. The plant done grew, which was what? The prophets and the writings. So what's the fruit of that?
The people that heard the word.
Okay, what else? The Mashiach, the gospel, the what do you call it? The Brit Kadashah. You know what I'm saying? Matthew through Revelations. So you got the seed, which is the word. Then you got the prophets, the writings, Psalms, Proverbs, Kings. That's the plant growing up from what? That seed. Because we was first planted in the land of what? Israel. But we still had to grow and produce what? Fruit. You know what I'm saying? So what we just read in Bereshit 14, that's Abraham. That all these kings is fighting a great war, and Abraham is in the midst of this, walking through this land, surveying the land. Right? That's the seed. This is the seed, what we read. Then come the law, the writings, the prophets. That's that plant growing forth. Then what a plant must produce? Fruit. So the fruit is the writings of the Mashiach. You know what I'm saying? Matthew, Mark, Luke, Revelations, all that. That's that plant producing this fruit from the seed that started in what? The beginning. Right? So we're going to read it again. The commandment went forth from a lion-like man who went to chasten the sheaves of the first fruits. Eternity. What that sound like? Everlasting. So he has what? This lion-like man has what? Eternity. And he has what? The fear of all what? Nations. Right? And then it says, he shall take the sons of what? Evil. And he shall do what to them? He shall take the sons of wickedness and place them where? In a habitation. Right? And it says, there shall be weeping and mourning and gnashing of what? Teeth. And they shall be blotted out of what? The earth. So, verse 38. Matthew chapter 13, verse 38.
The field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one.
Alright, so look, the field is the world, the good seed or the good noon are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the what? Sons of wickedness. The sons of what? The sons of evil. So we all on what? We all where? In the earth. We all in the earth, but then you got your good seed, and then you got your what? Sons of wickedness, right? And they gonna grow up, if we all in the same earth, they must grow up what? Together.
The enemy that sold them is the devil.
All right. So the enemy that sold the seeds was who?
Shaitan.
Shaitan. And he was what? To destroy the mark, which is what? The seed. So he gonna have to plant what? Seeds amongst the good seed. Because he was sent to destroy the righteous seed. Right? Keep going.
The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the Malachims.
All right. So say the harvest is the end of the world. So in his harvest, he must collect what? Sheaves or what? First fruits. So in this earth is growing up good seed and it's growing up bad seed. But they all must grow together. But at the end, he gonna take the sons of what? Evil. Period.
And therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be the end of this world.
Okay. So let's say the tares or the sons of wickedness shall be burnt in what?
Fire.
The fire. Right? So we had, on the part we really hit was what? That lion-like man. How was the Mashiach who's saying this, how is he a lion-like man?
Because he came from the tribe of Judah.
He came from the tribe of what? Yehuda, which is Judah, which is lion. So a lion-like man gonna collect it. He gonna chasten. Right? How is he chastening us right now? Through affliction, right? How do you suffer affliction? Enduring. What else? We don't win all.
Getting the word.
Getting the word. So you suffer an affliction by choosing what? Shalom. Because you destroying the authority that established what?
Chaos.
The chaos. That's going to produce you to get afflicted by who? As well. Because you destroying what? Him. Right? So keep reading.
The Son of Man shall send forth his messengers, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Okay, so he said,
the Son shall send his angels of Malachim, right? And they shall gather up the sheaves and the sons of evil and the sons of wickedness. But he said they shall cast them into what? The fire. And they shall be weeping and mourning and gnashing of what? Teeth. So we just went to Genesis 14 and we just broke down that seed. What I just said, what the beginning was, the seed. But then you can go back to the fruit and still get what the seed was trying to say. You see what I'm saying? Like we was talking about last night with T and D, like with the beginning, like in Bereshit or Genesis, it's a beginning, but it's a beginning to that beginning, and then it's a middle to that beginning, and then there's an end to that beginning. Then there's a beginning to the middle. There's a middle of that middle. Then it's an end of that middle. Then it's a beginning of the end, a middle of the end, and the end of the end, like that. So you can go to the beginning of when we went to Bereshit 14, and we went to the end, and we got the same what? The same message. A commandment went forth from a lion like man. He shall gather his first fruits. He shall have fear of all the nations. We shall dwell with him for what? Eternity. He shall take the sons of evil and the sons of wickedness, burn them and cast them to a habitation. They shall be weeping and mourning and gnashing of teeth. But it all starts from the seed. It all starts from that seed, which is the word. If the word is not in your heart, you're not going to be able to get it. Get Yashayahu chapter 28. And you get Isaiah chapter 28. You get Hebrews chapter 5. We're going to start at verse 9. Isaiah 28, verse 9.
They complain about me. They say, who does that man think he's teaching? Who needs his message? It's only good for babies that have just stopped nurturing.
Okay. We're going to read from it. What verse that is? So that's the good news text. It sounds a little different. We're going to read the King James verse. It says, whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Right? So we just looked at what the seed was, which is the word, which is the beginning. Right? So you can't, just like we got babies in here, did they just come out walking and talking and eating? No. They had a breast and they had nourishment and they had to grow. So when you come into this word, just like when I came in this morning, I said, you know, how you learn about that? And you said what? Through who? IUIC. Through IUIC. So he said he found out that who he was and what this was through IUIC. Right? So what you said you did, you went through all the videos and was getting it all up, and then you finally realized, hold up, this ain't it. This ain't it. You know what I'm saying? This can't be right. You know what I'm saying? Because you was still on what? Milk. You know what I'm saying? The milk. You was trying to gain an understanding. You trying to seek an understanding. So he said, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from that milk. So you had to become what? Weaned from that. Not saying that was the right milk, but they do know who we are. They do know the law not done away. They do know about the Shabbat, this, that, and that. But they got a lot of thorns in that fruit. You know what I'm saying?
One man planted,
another man, like you said, one man may plant, but another man may water. You know what I'm saying? But it all starts with that seed. You all got to start from the beginning, because he got to destroy what? The seed. So he going to throw everything he can to break you out of your what? Shalom. So you got to destroy the authority that established that chaos, which he trying to destroy the seed, the word, which is the son, throughout the whole time, right? So read again, say, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. We at Hebrews chapter 5, let me find your word.
You probably want verse 12.
Yeah, start at verse 12.
For the time ye ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of Elohim, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat.
So it say when it's going to be a time when you ought to become teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of Elohim. So what are the first principles? What are the first thing? What are the first principles in this book?
The Torah. So how you gonna be able to teach if you don't even understand the milk? You don't even understand the initial seed that was planted. You see what I'm saying? When I came in, first verse that this man read to me was Genesis 15:13. I didn't know who, I knew who Abraham was, but I didn't know who Abraham was like that, the in-depth of his story. Then we got Balaam, you got, when you get to the judges, you got all these judges, like we just, Shamgar. We got, my favorite personally in the Book of Kings, Absalom. You know what I'm saying? You got Joab. You got all of these people that you don't have a full understanding of. If you don't have a full understanding of that, that means you still on what? Milk. I'm not saying that's not a bad thing, but you must gather all your milk so that you can be able to what? Grow and get to that point, right? So look, it's a, for when for the time you ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principle of the oracles of Elohim. You can't read Bereshit 14 and know that's about a whole war going on in that time period. Because at the end of that chapter, who we found out about? Who was mentioned? If anybody remember. Melchizedek. Who was Melchizedek?
The priest, high priest.
He was a high priest. I didn't know who Melchizedek was. There was no way for me to be able to apply that to the fruit. We know the fruit is in the end. You know that seed in the beginning, but that plant is in the middle. So
I said that makes me think, because when you grow things, for instance, you plant your seed, you let your plant grow, you only have a certain amount of time to get that fruit off of that before it goes bad. So you got to get that fruit within that time frame. So when you look at the word like that, that end, that's that time for you to get your fruit. That's that fruit.
that's their fruit. So we just looked at the beginning, but we still gathered fruit, which had the same what? Message. But for you to get a greater understanding of that fruit, you first have to what? Get that milk. Grow up within that milk. So it say, for everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a what? A babe. You are unskilled in the word. You need to gather up your milk so you can get that understanding. That's why we go from precept to precept to precept. That's why we take it from verse to verse to verse so you can get that understanding. We looking at the beginning to get an understanding of the end. All right. So the last thing I want to show y'all was something I was discussing with Will and Corey earlier, but it has the same concept of what I was saying about the beginning and the end, right? So we're just gonna go to Bereshit or Genesis, chapter 17. We have Bereshit or Genesis, chapter 17. Stanley, we'll start at verse 1. We'll stop at 3.
And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Elohim appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Elohim. Walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying,
Okay, we start right there. So this is our forefather Abraham. This is before he produced any what? Seed. So who was Abraham's first seed? Isaac. Who came out of Isaac? Jacob. Who came out of Jacob? Joshua, the 12 tribes. And who are we today? Descendants of them. So we looking at the beginning of how this seed was even planted, how this nation was even brought forth, right? Yes. He said, I will make my covenant between me and thee and will multiply thee exceedingly. So what's attached to this covenant? The promise or the land. But a part of it is being what? Multiplied exceedingly. Alright? Go to, so basically this is what I wanted y'all to look at. Put it down here because he still got a word. Okay. Corey, you pronounce that for him? Can't see.
Atbash.
Atbash, right? So Atbash is basically what we were just looking at. In the beginning, we just read Bereshit chapter 14, but we went to what? Matthew chapter 13, and we just got the same message, right? So Atbash is going to use that same thing, but you can also find this within Scripture, a way the Scripture is interpreted, right? So we're going to look at it. Go to, read verse 3.
And Abram fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Okay, stop right there.
Darius, you done?
Yeah.
Read verse 17.
Abraham bowed down with his face touching the ground, but he began to laugh when he thought, can a man have a child when he is 100 years old? Can Sarah have a child at 90? He said, he asked Elohim.
It say, and can Sarah have a child that's 90 years old and bear? So we gonna look at this character. What is that? The olive, right? And what is that? The tar, right? So basically, what we looking at, the olive, even though it's at the beginning, it still complements what? The end, because the olive is the head, and the tar that's why he said, I am the what? In English, the Alpha and the Omega. But in Amorim, I am the Alt, the Olive, and the Top. So we looking at it right here. You can see this in scripture within the same chapter. Read verse 3 and 4 again, and then you're going to read verse 17 again right there. And y'all going to look at the comparison of how what's said in the beginning is still going to be repeated in the end.
And Abram fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying, as for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Verse 17.
Abraham bowed down with his face touching the ground, but he began to laugh when he thought, can a man have a child when he is 100 years old? Can Sarah have a child at 90?
So right here, he said he fell on his face and he started to talk with Elohim in verse 3. Verse 17, he fell upon his face and laughed and said basically the same thing verse 3 and 4 saying, right? But it's all connected to what? A child, which is a promise. We already know we connect that somewhere too. Go to verse 5 there.
Your name will no longer be Abram, but Abraham, because I am making you the ancestors of many nations.
All right. So go to verse 15 and 16, Stanley. So we just read verse 5. It says that neither shall your name anymore be called Abram, but your name shall be called Abraham, for a father of many nations you shall be. Right? Exalted father. Right? Go to verse 15 and 16, Stanley.
And Elohim said unto Abraham, as for Sarah, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be.
Okay, so we just read at verse 5. Neither shall they call your name what? Abraham. Abram, but they should call you what? Abraham. Go to verse 16. Neither shall you call you Sarai, but your name shall be called Sarah. So you see in the beginning, it's something what for Abraham. In the end, it's something what for what? Sarah, right? Now go to verse 6. There's.
I will give you many descendants, and some of them will be kings. You will have so many descendants that they will become nations.
Okay, it said, I will make an everlasting, it said, I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. Stanley, go to verse 16.
And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her.
So we just read verse 6 of Abraham, kings shall come out of him. Verse 16 of Sarah, what? It said, you shall be a mother of nations, and kings of people shall come out of what? You. So at the top of the beginning, it's saying something, but in the end, it's still what? Repeating with it, because it's still colliding, just like I was saying, the beginning, the middle, the end, right? Now go to verse 7. There.
I will keep my promise to you and your descendants in future generations as an everlasting covenant. I will be your Elohim and the Elohim of your descendants. I will give to you and to your descendants this land in which you are now a foreigner.
Okay. So you see that the covenant is connected to what? The land or the promise. So no matter what we do, the promise was already given that his seed shall what? Inherit that land. That's the promise. So we live righteously because we still believe in what? That same promise. That same promise that they ever inherit that land is what? The kingdom of heaven. Because we know the kingdom of heaven shall be established what? On earth. It's the same promise today that it was before. But right here it said, I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee. Go to verse 14.
And the uncircumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He had broken my covenant.
Okay, so he said he's going to establish his covenant with his seed, but to establish that covenant, he had to do what?
Circumcised.
He had to cut. A cut. What the word covenant in Hebrew is, if anybody knows.
Brit.
Brit, Barit, whatever. B-R-I-T. But it's brit, which means to cut, right? So in verse 7, he said, I will establish my covenant, or I will establish my brit, right? Which means to cut. We have verse 14, and he said, I will take the uncircumcised man and I will what? Cut. So a cut is basically a symbolism of a covenant. That's how a covenant is made, through what? A cut. Because that's what the word covenant means, right? So we know that a woman cannot get what? Circumcised. So that's a lot of questions of, okay, if a woman can't get circumcised, how is she going to be a part of that covenant? That's when we look at the word Yahudim, and you circumcise where?
In the heart.
In your heart. Because the circumcision of your flesh, you can be circumcised in your flesh, but not still be circumcised where? In your heart. So that's how the woman gets circumcised. Verse 8.
I will give to you and to your descendants this land in which you are now a foreigner. The whole land of Canaan will belong to your descendants forever, and I will be their Elohim.
Okay. Now read verse 13.
He that is born in thy house and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised. My covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant.
So you see there that even one who is not born of this seed can still be a part of what? Of the covenant, right? Verse 10.
You and your descendants must all agree to circumcise every male among you. From now on, you must circumcise every baby boy when he is 8 days old, including slaves born in your homes and slaves brought from your foreigners. This will show that there is a covenant between you and me.
Alright. So basically the conclusion, we know, or what we can go to. Let's go to Galatians. We're going to go to chapter 3. All right. We're going to go to verse 15. You understand?
Brethren, I speak after the manner of men, that it be but a man's covenant. Yet if it be confirmed, no man this no or added thereto. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promise made. He said not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one. And to thy seed, which is Hamashiach. And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of Elohim and Hamashiach, the law, which was 430 years after, cannot disannul that it should make the promise of none effect.
All right, so right here, it says that the covenant that we just read, he said to Abraham, I shall multiply your seed. Sarah, I shall multiply your seed. This whole land you shall inherit it. And to establish that covenant, you must be what? Circumcised. That covenant was made before what? The Torah of Moses was brought forth. Right? So the promise was given to us before the law. So it's saying that the covenant can never be broken. Even if you don't keep the law, or nobody in here keep the law, those who do and seek after it, they going to attain that what? That promise. That promise and that covenant is still here today, because we still have the promise to inherit what? The kingdom that shall be brought forth on where? On earth. But we know the reason why we went over this is because we got to see the process of how that's going to even happen. We see that the seed was established through Abraham. We see that it was sought to be destroyed. We know that we have to keep shalom, right? Or destroy that chaos by keeping what? The law. Right? This is a part of the covenant. A command went forth, from a lion-like man. He was sent to chastity. He gathered the first fruits. He had everlasting eternity attached to him. He shall have the fear of all nations. The sons of evil and wickedness shall burn in habitation, shall be weeping and mourning and gnashing of teeth. But this covenant that was here was established for us to keep. But that was brought forth before all of that was even established. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying, like, you can look at it from the beginning and get the end. You can look at the end and get the beginning. You can look at the middle and get the beginning and the end. You know what I'm saying? So just hope y'all got some understanding of it today. That was in my mind to bring forth.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? We're stretch for time. Isaiah 46 and 10. Revelation 22 and 10. I'll tell you right now. Matter of fact, when you get to Isaiah 46, make it about verse 7. Tell me what it says. we're gonna look at this here bit by bit. If I go too fast, please let me know, because there's a lot of stuff on here and we prep for time. I just said a commandment went forth, right? So we're gonna have to see what that commandment was to go forth. Give me Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1. Go ahead, Derek.
46 and 7.
Tell me what it says.
They lifted to their shoulders and carried it.
They did what?
They lifted to their shoulders and carried it.
You know, he said they lifted on their shoulders and carried. What would they be carrying? Go ahead, just finish it out. Finish it out.
They put it in a place, and there it stands, unable to move from where it is.
Unable to move from where it is. What did we talk about last night that you need to be built on, that you wouldn't be able to be moved from where you at? And what character corresponds with that, Rob? So that means you need to be built on the cop then, don't you? Need to be built on Mashiach. See, that's, you know what's going to allow that to happen? Because it's going to allow you to be able to overcome. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to tell y'all something, right? He was talking about those afflictions. Overcoming is a strong thing to be able to do. Like I told you last night, I wanted to hit Samson, Jephthah, Gideon, and David about overcoming.